Hi, thanks for continuing to watch the series on the this more complex GNS3 environment with the Sophos XG over in the main office and the Sophos UTM in one of the remote offices. The other two videos I did on this where I configured the three core pieces here, the core, the MPLS head, and the Site B core router. I did the interfaces, the static routes, to get all of that communicating. And then the second video I worked on XG and UTM, just configuring the interfaces to connect to the core and the routing that was necessary. So for this video, I'm going to configure the DHCP services for this segment here, the corporate net, and for this DMZ. Alright, so let's start with the first thing we need to do is start with the Cisco here. And if we do, I configured, so the corporate network, if you look at the GNS3 is 172.16.00/24. So that sits off of fast Ethernet 00. So show run int fa 0/0. So I added a helper address that's for DHCP packets that are received on this interface are then forwarded on to 10.11.0.1. That's the XG over here. So let's go ahead and configure the XG to be a DHCP server. So we'll go under the settings, system, and then network, and then DHCP. And then inside of here in DHCP, I'm going to go ahead and add a new server. Now, since this network segment is not directly connected, it's off of the core, and I had to use a helper address, I'm not going to be selecting an interface that I should expect traffic on. I'm going to leave that blank, and then we're going to call this the main site core net, right? And then the starting, it's 172.16.0. Let's make it, we'll do 200 through 172.16.0.240, right? That'll be our least range. We're going to use that for the gateway 172.16.200.1. And we don't need DNS. I just want to prove out the IP connectivity, right? So configure gateway IP address within what? Oh, I'm kind of being dumb here. It's 0.1. 0.1, right? So we'll save that. Thank you, XG. XG note gave me a pop-up that said that I did something stupid. So here we go. We're going to go to this Linux client and do a release or renew, right? So that's this VM right here. If I do if config, so I don't have an address on Ethernet 0 right now. DH client ETH0 if config. There it got the address, the 200. Now how can I prove out that things are working? So I can do some pings from here. Let's ping my gateway, 172.16.0.1. I can hit that. How about the XG LAN interface? That's on 10.11.0.1. Ping 10.11.0.1. I can hit that. How about all the way across this infrastructure here to the UTM? That is 10.11.2.1. 2.1. Terrific. So that's done. Let's do the DMZ now. So the DMZ, I added an interface off of this XG, off port 3 of zone DMZ for 192.168.0.1, right? That's according to the GNS3, how we have this set up. So I'll go back here, I'll go to System, DHCP, add my DMZ off of interface port 3, 192.168.1.0.188 through 192.168.0. This very small range, right? Use the interface as the primary gateway. It's out of here. There we go, and I'll just go ahead and save this. And then based off, I have this system that connects off of there. So let's go, that is this system, if config, EM0. It's already got an address. Let's down this interface. Right, and then do a DH client, EM0, if config, EM0. Apparently I did 200, EM0 up. Alright, let's go back over here to the and look at the lease table. So we got one lease that came in, 172.16.0.200 for the Ubuntu. I'll just refresh here. And the BSD system took the last, for whatever reason. So now let's go on the BSD system and do some ping tests. Now, I don't think this is going to work, and I'll show you why in a second. 168, you got to consider the zone. So I'm going to try to ping the gateway. Now notice I'm not getting any replies, so you might say, well, you probably need a firewall rule. You're right. So under policies, I've already configured a source DMZ, any host, any zone, any service. So I'll turn it on, right? Now let's take a look at the firewall rule again, or the results of the ping. Still nothing. So what do I do is I'd come under diagnostics and then packet capture and turn it on, and I see I've got this port 3, that's where I know it's coming from my 200 to my .1, violation, local ACL. What that's referring to is the device access, right? From the DMZ zone, there's some core defaults that are allowed outside of the normal firewall rule. Like for instance, I want to be able to do ping on the DMZ zone, so I have to enable it. It's something that's outside of the firewall, so that's under System Administration Device Access if that ever trips you up. So, and it's evident in the packet capture, it'll say local ACL, that is the part that's causing. So there we go, I can ping it. Now I can ping my gateway. Let's see from GNS3 if I can ping other endpoints here. So I've got, let's see if I can ping my Linux system, right? That's ping 172.16.0.200, I think its address was. There it is. Yep. I can even SSH into it. Tom at, I think SSH is enabled on that one. 16.0.200. Let's see if it is. Yes. And my super password. And now I'm in. Who am I? Right? We'll exit out of there. Can I ping over here to the other site from the BSD system? Ping 10.11.2.2. That's the core switch at site B. I can hit that. Let's see if I can hit. I can't hit .1. Right? The reason why I can't hit .1 is I think that .1 doesn't know about the 192 network. I got to add a static route in. So let's go to webadmin on .1 and check that out. So interfaces, static routing. You get 172 network known via the .2, the backbone network, but I'm just going to clone this. I'm going to trash can this, add the core DMZ 192.168.0.0/24. It's known via the same site B router. Turn it on, back to my BSD system, and look at that. Presto. Now I'm getting the replies back. So there you go. A little bit of routing magic and how to get DHCP services operational off of XG in an environment where you're using a helper and where you've got a directly connected interface. I hope you find this video helpful. I'm going to do another series. My next one is going to be on BGP, adding this whole area, creating a BGP environment out of it. Thanks a lot.